For those out there who are just tuning in, this is Rustin with Metalholic, and of course John Prakesh of Shakra. How are you doing, man? Everything going good over on your side of the world?
Of course. I have news for you, man. We just charted on #1 in the Swiss album charts. And we're so happy with it, and we can't believe it, and yeah, it's just perfect.
I was going to say, Powerplay has already leapt, as you just said, to the top of your charts, which is even better than the previous album, which hit #2 to begin with. So you guys have got to be pretty amped about that so far.
Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, as already said, I can't believe it. It's just, I have to think about it and to process it.
Well, let's take. I want to talk about Powerplay, the new album. Let's take a step back a little bit. The previous album, Back on Track, was your first album with the band, but it didn't just signify, at least having listened to the albums over the years, it didn't just signify a new voice, a new personality in the band. It was also sort of, that's really where Thomas and his writing sort of started to get away from some of his early leanings, the AC/DC type riffs, stuff like that, and started a new evolution, if you will, of his songwriting as well. So it really was almost like the birth of a new band with Back on Track. Would you agree, or am I way off base?
Oh, okay. First of all, I have to say, music is a personal matter, and there is no wrong or right. I think Back on Track was definitely different, but still Shakra. I would say still Shakra. Yeah. But Powerplay is definitely more diversified. I really like it, and I like the songs, and especially Dear Enemy, because, I have to explain that. I like to talk about, I wrote the lyrics, most of them, and I like to talk about things I've personally experienced. So that's the best way to touch people and their lives. And it's also reflective. Our fans can say, John, I really know what you mean, man. I've experienced that too, and that's so important to me. It's like a diary. Yeah, definitely.
Well, with this being the second album that you're on, you guys have had a chance now for the band to really settle in with you. How did that impact creating the new album now that you've had time to play shows, spend time with the guys, and really sort of evolve as a unit?
Well, currently we rehearse a lot. We're gonna start our tour in March. We're going to be in Germany, in France, and Netherlands, and it's very intense. And giving interviews a lot, and with you, and it's perfect. It's just perfect, and it's the best way to spread our stuff. And also in America, we've never been there. It would be great to play there, and to get a foot in America, to get some shows there. But it's quite difficult, it's also, touring is very expensive.
Right, it is, and unfortunately, America hasn't made it any easier over the last few years. Have you guys thought of, or maybe you already have, and I'm just unaware of it, have you guys thought of doing like a DVD or something to really showcase who Shakra is? Because obviously you're huge back home, but we're very visually stimulated over here in America, as we are orally and everything. Maybe putting out a DVD that we can get over in America, where people can really get a taste of you guys.
That would be great. A good idea. Why not? But it's also very complicated to record a DVD. And also expensive. Also for Swiss guys. But yeah, we have to find new ways to get new fans. That's right. Yeah, I have to tell you that my bandmates, it's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, it's obviously the whole music industry has changed quite a bit. It's it's more diffuse, it's more do-it-yourself, and it makes it difficult for bands, especially all around the globe, to be heard everywhere else. I mean, we've got the technology for people to hear it more readily, but there's so much stuff out there, so few people are able to find it. So, you got to do whatever you can to get it out there. But Now, Thomas does the majority of the songwriting in the band. He just sits there with his guitar like it's an extra appendage and just rips out riffs all the time and keeps coming. He's probably already halfway through writing the next album, and this one just barely came out. But with you being in the band now, you mentioned you write a lot of the lyrics. Is that something that's been that way since you guys started? He comes to you with a riff or a melody, and then does he come with a lyrical idea, or does he just say, here's the melody, come up with whatever? How does that process work?
As you already said, Thomas is the main songwriter. Whenever he has an idea, he records it on a Zoom machine, and after that, we sit together and we try to find a perfect vocal line, and we work as a team. And if something doesn't work, if there's something I can't sing, we try together to find another way to sing it, or another tune. So there's also a teamwork, of course. But the main songwriter is Thomas. Yeah. And he likes to work, to work alone. He's so creative in that way, and it's okay for me, absolutely.
All right, but at the end of the day, you're pretty much singing your words. He's not coming up with the lyrics and saying, "Here, just go for it."
No, yeah, that's right. This time on Powerplay, I wrote 7 songs, lyrics. And Dominic, the bass player, also wrote some lyrics, and Thomas wrote "Life Is Now," the music and also the lyrics. Yeah.
So it is spread out a little bit, but now take us back a little bit, and just as by way of introduction, tell us a little bit about your path to music. Was there sort of a moment of epiphany when you were growing up, whether it was a song, an album, a concert, where you went, "This is what I want to do with my life"?
Well, I can tell you a story how, I have to say something, I was born in India, and I came to Switzerland when I was a baby, and I was adopted by Swiss, and my elder sister, she was listening to Bon Jovi all day long, especially the song "Living on a Prayer," and I was, forced to listen to it, but I grew up with Bon Jovi, and this song "Living on a Prayer," it's very special to me, and I still like it. And nowadays, I really recommend you should listen to Alter Bridge. Do you know this band, Alter Bridge? They're also from America.
Mm-hmm.
And Miles Kennedy, his voice is just unbelievable. His range, absolutely amazing. I really recommend you have to listen to it, definitely. Especially the song "In Loving Memory." And this kind of music, this kind of, it's just perfect, at least for me.
Right. Yeah, he's got a very emotive voice, and it's always wonderful to hear whatever he sings. He's one of those guys where he could sing whatever's in the phone book, and you'd listen just to hear his intonation and how he does things and stuff. So,
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So, but now you have one of those readily accessible rock voices as well. Who sort of influenced you, and do you stylize yourself vocally after anyone in particular, or?
As I already said, John Bon Jovi, definitely, yeah. But I was a boy, so I can't say John Bon Jovi. But Miles Kennedy, also Steven Tyler. I really like Steven Tyler. His style of his singing is just out of this world. It's amazing. But that's it. I'm not that typical metal singer, isn't it? What do you think about my style of singing?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I was saying before. You've got one of those just readily accessible rock voices. It's one of those voices where as soon as you hear it, it's like it feels like you recognize it, even if it's new to you, and it feels very comfortable. And whatever you're singing with it, it just sort of feels good. It fits right in, and I think that's one of the things that's really helped with the last 2 Shakra albums is it's really given the sound of Thomas's music a better voice, if you will, something that's
thank you so much.
Something that's more accessible and that people can identify with. And I think that's going to bode well for you guys as you move on down the road and everything. So, and of course, we do want to get you over here in America because I think you do very well over here as well. So, but now, are there certain, besides obviously the Bon Jovi and stuff, are there 2 or 3 albums that you grew up with that are sort of those go-to albums for you that keep you inspired, and no matter what's going on in your life, it's like, I can go play this and feel good? And
no, not really. I was listening to Aerosmith, Get a Grip. Mm-hmm. That was something I always was listening to it. And what was it? Keep the Faith, also from Bon Jovi, but you said beside of it. And and Guns N' Roses, Guns N' Roses. The second part, the yellow, not the yellow, the blue one. What was it called? Illusion.
Use Your Illusion.
Yeah. And that was absolutely great. Yes. Previously, I was a guitar player. And it wasn't planned to be a singer. And at the time when I was listening to Guns N' Roses, I played a lot of leg sounds. I trained a lot for it, and also I have my Gibson wall standard, and I'm quite proud of it. But Thomas is much better than me. I have to say that.
Just a little bit, right? Yeah. So
just a little bit.
Now you write the majority of the lyrics, obviously, and you had sort of mentioned earlier that you want how you feel about writing them and what you want the fans to get out of them. But can you maybe talk about that a little bit more? What are some of the songs on this album that really stand out for you in terms of messages and whatnot?
Okay, definitely. Well, on Powerplay, my favorite song is definitely Dear Enemy. And at the time, I was, in a tricky situation, and I couldn't find a way out of it. And the only thing I could do was to make a step aside and to look at it differently. And then I realized, okay, the only thing I could do was to forgive this person. And after it, I felt much better, And I don't want to go into details, but it was, it was like magic. I felt so much better after it.
Right, you sort of changed perspective, and in sort of writing to Dear Enemy and writing to your enemy and saying what you needed to say, that was sort of cathartic for you. Yeah,
definitely. It was so. I don't believe in revenge. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me personally, and I just try to put a positive message in it. And in general, also, it's so important to be positive and to be focused on positive things in life, and it's so much easier to handle it. Yeah, and also I meditate every day.
Now, Save You From Yourself, one of yours?
No, this one wrote Dominic.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I think it was just fantasy.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the reality. He told me that.
So when you're not working on Shakra and doing the music and all that stuff, what are you into outside of music? What are some of your hobbies, some of the things you're passionate about?
Well, honestly, I still have to work. I work as a sales assistant in a big store, 60-person. That's life. I have to pay my bills, and reading books, jogging. I meditate a lot, and that's it. There's nothing left.
Right. Yeah, we've all got to work these days. It's sort of funny. The era of the rock star has sort of been obliterated, but and now you were born in India. Obviously, you came over to Switzerland when you were very young. But have you had a chance or an opportunity to go back and actually perform in India?
Yeah, once I was there, and it was quite strange. I did some shows with my with Prakesh, my own band, and it was the people there were amazing. Okay, but there isn't a music market. You can't sell CDs, or they don't have money, and that's the problem. And also it's also it depends on the moral, or the situation in India, or also in the world has changed completely in this case, isn't it? And it isn't that easy to tour through India, or it would be great. Also, it would be great to tour through China, but the situation there isn't so good to do it. How is it in America? You said it's quite difficult, isn't it?
Well, it's not that it's difficult to tour in America. Touring in America is great. The problem is for bands coming from overseas. Apparently our government has made it, let's say it's not very cost effective. They've made it harder and harder, which is really a shame, because that would help the entire economy and the music industry boom, because right now touring is everything. When people can get your album for free, touring and merchandising and getting out there in front of people is really how bands are able to stay alive and keep going. And as you said, and we all know, all of us who are involved in the industry have day jobs aside from music and everything. And I don't know that that's ever going to change, where we're ever going to get back to that era of bands like Led Zeppelin and Kiss and
I don't think so.
It's not going to happen. So we have to look at things differently. And if we want to keep rock and roll alive, I think we have to be doing everything we can to make it accessible for bands to be able to get out there and put their music out there and perform live, and making them pay exorbitant sums to come over and tour here and everything is just another failure on the part of our government. So my apologies for that. Hopefully one day we'll get you over here. So
don't worry. I got you, really. Yeah.
John Prakesh of Shakra, the new album Powerplay is out now. Phenomenal record. Are you guys shooting any videos for this?
Yeah. We did one on Wonderful Life, and also Save You From Yourself. Yeah. But this is not finished.
Okay, so do we know when people will be able to see one or both of those?
Yeah, of course. I hope so, yeah. It should be finished in February next month.
Okay, so coming up, we'll keep an eye out for that. John, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do it again. And hopefully we'll, at some point, get a chance to see you over here in the States. But if not, thank you for creating the wonderful music that you guys are, and for keeping that hard rock flag flying.
Thank you so much.